Welcome to my 2019 favorites video. We have makeup, skincare, hair care, a fragrance, a YouTube video. We've got a little bit of everything. And it's so interesting. I was creating a short list of products to speak about today and I thought, ooh, better check last year's video just to make sure that I'm not being too repetitive. I was being too repetitive. Every single product in last year's favorites video, I wanted to speak about again this year. And I guess that's kind of a nice thing. It goes to show that I've really curated my favorites. I'm very loyal to my favorites, but also I didn't want to be super repetitive and bore you guys to tears. So I won't be mentioning those again this year, but definitely go watch that video because every single product is still so relevant. All right, let's start with some makeup. The Pat McGrath Lab Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. So I actually did a monster review video on this foundation where I check in after 2 weeks, try different application methods, trying different primers. I will link that video somewhere on the screen and I won't ramble too much here. But for me, this was a standout discovery because it genuinely looks like skin. And that is the #1 thing that I'm looking for in a foundation. I want it to look like skin. I think it's meant to be worn quite sheer and quite dewy. I think those kind of foundations don't get a lot of traction on YouTube. It was never going to be like a YouTube cult classic, but if you really value imperceivable coverage, then check it out. Get a sample, get a sample. The My Armani To Go Essence In Foundation Cushion. I know, I said that I wouldn't repeat myself, and here I am repeating myself. I mentioned this in my last yearly's favorites videos and countless videos since, but it would be rude of me not to mention this foundation because it was the product that I wore pretty much every single day in 2019. So I like the fact that it has really versatile coverage. If I'm just heading quickly to brunch, I'll do a quick pat around the nose, or if I'm going to something a little bit more evening, then the coverage can be built. It never like wears awkwardly or goes cakey. I just put this compact straight in my handbag and I can touch up throughout the day. This is my perfect foundation. If I were to design my perfect foundation, this would be it. And Armani does this thing. They do this thing where they discontinue all of my favorite foundations. So maybe I should stockpile 40? I'm only half joking. The YSL Fusion Ink Cushion Foundation. So I actually mentioned this product in a yearly favorites video a few years back, and I had a few backups of the shade 50, which is way too dark for me now. I have just become progressively paler as the years have gone on, which I attribute to adulthood and a declining social life. So I actually started using this product as a bronzer. It's not heaps deeper than my actual skin tone. It's just a little bit deeper, but I find that a pat around the perimeters of my hairline, maybe a touch across the cheekbones, and it introduces some warmth and dimension into the face in a really subtle and natural way. So yeah, I've always loved using a darker foundation as a bronzer, so it's a bit of a no-brainer. Shop yo stash. I'm really fussy when it comes to powders, but I actually have quite a few powder favorites this year. So the first are the By Terry Hyaluronic Tinted Hydra Powders. I actually did a video in collaboration with By Terry not too long ago. And you know, it's interesting, when I do a collaborative video, I try not to gush about a product, even if it's life-changing, because I think it can come off sometimes as a little bit insincere. But this video is not sponsored, so I can gush all I like. I adore these powders. I have been raving about silica-based powders pretty much since I started my YouTube channel, but I always thought, imagine if there were a silica-based powder that was tinted. Because sometimes, depending on the skin tone or maybe a bit under the eyes, a silica powder could look a little bit ashy, but the tinted versions completely solve that conundrum. I really like the shade Rosy Light under the eyes, got that pink brightening tone, and 100 Fair for the rest of my face. Love that. If you are someone who hates powder, try this. It is invisible on the skin. Ooh, another powder that came into quite high rotation this year, the Pat McGrath Labs Sublime Perfection Setting Powder. Very similar, IMO in my opinion, to the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, which is another old favorite. But the Pat McGrath Labs has a bit of a better shade range, which is nice. I tend to think of this as like a mid-weight setting powder. So it's not as light and airy as the By Terry silica-based powders, but then it's not as heavy as something like the Laura Mercier Translucent. It sits somewhere in the middle, you know, nice middle space. And I really like this for under the eyes. It makes the under eyes so smooth. It's great for baking. I tend to reach for it when I'm doing a little bit more of a glam look. The Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. So many of you guys reach out to me in like DMs and comments like, what do you think about the Hourglass powder? And it's here. I really do like this product. It has a slight sheen to it. There is like a tiny bit of reflect in this powder that you can see if you look really closely. So if you want to set your makeup but you're not really about that super matte life, then this very well might be your solution. The only thing is, my only thing is that I don't love this powder under the eyes. Because it has that sheeny finish, it does nothing to disguise this deep tear trail line that I have in my face. Only matte powders help to disguise that. Maybe you don't have massive hills and valleys under your eyes, and that critique might not really apply to you. But just an FYI. When it comes to bronzers and blushes, it's kind of a little bit more of a broad shout out to the Hourglass Ambient bronzers and Ambient blushes. I think Hourglass just kills it with their powder formulas. They're super sheer and buildable and blendable. You know, I really enjoy like trying all different kinds of formulas and brands when I'm playing makeup. But sometimes when I just want to get out the door, I want a product that will blend beautifully, look natural on the skin, and I can do it with my eyes shut. And that's exactly what Hourglass bronzers and blushes are to me. They're just foolproof. So for bronzers, I think I probably like the Nude Bronze Light shade best. And then in terms of blushes, I adore Dim Infusion, which is a pale peach, and Mecca Glow, which I think might have been an Australia exclusive. It's a little bit more of a vibrant peach, but really I kind of love all the shades. Although I do want to acknowledge something that one of you guys said in the comments recently. Even the ambient blushes that look quite cool toned in the pan tend to translate as quite warm on the face. I don't know why that is, but all of the shades lean a little bit warm, which I don't mind, but just FYI. All right, let's move on to the eyes. I think these are so fun. These are the Huda Beauty matte and metal melted shadows. So it's a dual end liquid eyeshadow. One side you have a matte shade and the other you have a more reflective shade. To be honest, I mainly reach for the matte side, and I love these as a base for a more complex eye look, or even just as like a one and done haze around the eyes. When I was first swatching them, I thought, ooh, they set so fast that it's almost a formula that you think might be a little bit patchy or could maybe get a bit crusty, but actually they're super easy to apply. What I like to do is dispense the product on the back of my hand and then work it into a really fluffy brush, and that way you can just pretty much buff it over the eyelid and it gives you a very even application, very soft diffused edges. My favorite shades are probably Private Jet, which is the rosy rusty tone that I'm wearing on my eyes today. I also absolutely adore Wednesday, which is a cool tone bubblegum pink. I love wearing this all around the eye for just that like editorial cool girl pop of color. And then Faux Fur is a shade that's just a little bit deeper than my skin tone. Love. I did not expect to love these as much as I do. The Hourglass Scattered Light Glitter Eyeshadows. Wow, you guys must get so bored of me. I've spoken about these so many times, but they're just phenomenal. Hourglass has taken something so fun like micro glitter and they've made it work appropriate for us. Thank you, Hourglass. 2019 really was the year that I became so lazy with my eye looks. I want maximum impact, minimum effort, and I just smear these on with a finger, either on a bare lid or maybe over one of these matte eyeshadow bases, and it's a complete eye look in no time at all. Mascara. Okay, so 2019 was also the year that my skin became combination skin. Kind of felt like a little bit of an achievement, to be honest, and I can now stop complaining about my chronically dry skin. You're welcome. The unintended consequence of this change is that all my favorite mascaras started smudging on me. My theory is that the oils on my face were sort of migrating close to my eye and encouraging my mascara to smudge. So I discovered the Lancome Monsieur Big Waterproof. And this is gorgeous. It separates, it gives volume, it holds a curl. A lot of the time I feel like with waterproof mascaras, they can kind of make your lashes look a bit crispy, but this one retained those fluffy ends. Love that. Also, the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, which I don't believe touts as a waterproof formula, but it might as well be because this never ever smudged on me. And again, beautiful length, separation, volume. I like a little bit of everything. I'll take a bit of everything. Brows. I have a brow favorite. This is the Hourglass Arch Tinted Brow Gel. I absolutely adore this brush. This is great design, people. It coats all of the hairs, but it doesn't smear product on the skin. Very clever. On my no makeup days, I will just brush this through my brows, brushing the hairs directly up so I can get all of that bushy, feathery texture, and they hold all day long. The shade Soft Brunette is actually just a touch lighter and a touch warmer than my naturally ashy brows, and I feel like it just creates like a softer, it just creates a softness to my face. Hear me out here. I actually got this idea from one of my good friends, Ruby Golani. She also creates content. She has these incredible bold brows. And she told me once that she uses a lighter brow gel to just sort of soften the features depending on the look. And yes, it totally works. And this Hourglass brow gel serves that purpose for me. It just softens my features a bit. All right, moving on to lips, and this is another one that lives in my handbag, the Pat McGrath lip pencil in the shade Done Undone. And this is like the perfect lighter nude lip liner that you can use to sort of maybe maximize your lip line, or as some people would say, overdraw. And you can also fill in your lips for just a really versatile nude lip. It's kind of, the formula is actually quite similar to the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheats, another favorite. It's very creamy upon application, but then it sets and it has great longevity. Every time I hear about someone talk about the Pat McGrath lip pencils, they're always talking about the shade Contour. See, the thing with Contour is that it's a bit sort of deep for me. It always gives me a little bit of like a Pammy Anderson vibe. Love me a bit of Pammy, no offense Pammy, but Done Undone is definitely my pick. 2019 was also the year of glossy lips for me. I just love a glossy lip now. But in a cruel twist of fate, so many glosses actually leave my lips feeling quite depleted and chapped. Enter the Kopari Lip Glossy. Oh, this stuff is so juicy. It has a really high shine reflective finish, but then it also functions as a lip balm that really nourishes and softens the lips. It's a win-win. And then when I'm sick of my hair getting stuck to my face, I reach for the Clinique Even Better lipstick in the shade 04. It's like the exact same shade as my lips. So it's like a My Lip but better, and the formula is so thin I totally forget that I'm wearing it. So this is the sort of thing that I just pop in my handbag, I scribble it on without a mirror, and I'm good to go. I has a hair favorite. All right, so hear me out. I've owned so many beautiful hair oils in my time, and I just never use them. You've got to pour the oil into your hand, and then your hands get greasy, and then you've got to be really particular about distributing it evenly. However, the Kevin Murphy Shimmer Me Blonde Repairing Shine is almost like a serum oil hybrid, and you spritz it into the hair. And I use this for my straight and sleek hairstyles, but also my curly hairstyles, and it just imparts a lot of shine. I don't know why it's called Shimmer Me Blonde, because you clearly don't need to be blonde for this product. The Rubis Switzerland tweezers. I mentioned these in my Holy Grails I've replaced video, but I've got to mention them again because an incredible pair of tweezers is so worth the investment, I promise you. These tweezers taught me that I have about a bajillion and one fine blonde hairs underneath my brow that I was completely missing before, and this captures all of them. So I mentioned that my skin type has changed, and with my newfound combo skin, I developed acne. Yay, love that for me. So I was like digging through my drawers, like, help me with these pimples, what do I have? And I discovered numerous unopened packs of the Neogen BioPeel exfoliating pads. I don't know what I was preparing for. Some sort of apocalypse, clearly. But they're like a little exfoliating pad that has a little socket for your fingers, and there's a gauzy material. So what I'll do is just a very light circular motion all over the face, down the neck, onto the chest. If there's something left over, I'll put it on my feet, no wastage. You leave it on for, I don't know, 15 minutes or so, and then you rinse the solution off. And it has glycolic and lactic acid, so great AHAs, and it's just the perfect amount of exfoliation. It's effective, but still really gentle. And I sort of use them maybe once or twice a week, or whenever I start to notice that my skin is getting a little bit congested. Literally notice results overnight. Love these. I have a fragrance favorite. By the way, you guys, I am so pleased that you seem to enjoy my, my perfume fragrant video. I legit thought it would get 10 views. It didn't go viral. Let's be honest here, but it got a few more than 10 views. So I'm really pleased that you enjoyed it. My fragrance favorite of 2019 is the By Terry Flagrant Delice. Sorry, By Terry, I know I got that wrong, but this is divine. Oh my gosh. So close your eyes. Imagine with me. Imagine we're in the south of France and linen dresses on an orchard, the one that has the fruit. And we're picking fruit and having a picnic. It's quite a fruity, fresh fragrance, but not in a synthetic or sweet way. It's quite fig heavy. And if you know me, I've had my ups and downs with fig fragrances. I love them on other people, but fig notes often make me feel a bit queasy. But this, oh, this is the fig holy grail that I've been searching for all my life. So my final favorite is a little bit random. It's not beauty related, but it is YouTube related, and that kind of counts, right? It's a YouTube video called Sunday Stretch by the creator Sarah Beth Yoga. So initially I was on YouTube searching for videos to help me improve my flexibility, to help me improve my form at the gym. My deadlifts, they were shocking. It was embarrassing because my hamstrings are so tight and I've got no mobility in my ankles. So I came across this video and I just really enjoyed doing it, and absolutely my flexibility improved, but it had an unintended consequence. I started feeling so zen. I have never experienced zen in my lifetime. I'm a bit neurotic and anxious, and I've always wanted to get into things like yoga, but they just never really appealed to me. I could never really kind of get on board. But this video was like the best part of my day. And the most annoying thing about all of this is, even as a creator myself, I never thought to like or comment under this video. So thank you so much, Sarah Beth Yoga, for your contribution to the platform and for the content you create, and namaste. If you like more random recommendations like books and plants and baking, then you should come check out my Instagram at Karima McKimmie. I do a lot of that sort of stuff on stories. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below one of your yearly favorites, whether it be like makeup or skincare, or maybe a YouTube video that really helped you. I would love to hear. I hope you're having a wonderful day, whatever it is you're up to, and I shall speak to you all very soon.